In 1960, a cargo ship under the American flag carried a crew of 45 people, 20 on deck, 16 in the engine room, 8 stewards, a radio operator. If you lost a sailor, not a big deal. You'd find another one at the next port. Today, the container ship MSC Irina carries 24,000 containers. The crew, 25 people. Some of the largest Maersk vessels run with just 13. The ship got 10 times bigger. The crew got 3 times smaller. And those 13 people aren't deckhands anymore. They're engineers who understand automation, navigation, propulsion, safety systems. You can't just pick up a replacement at the next port. What happened to shipping over 60 years is happening to companies right now. In about 5 years, I recently watched 2 companies go through this. Same industry, both cut their staff roughly in half. Both brought in AI for development, analytics, marketing, almost identical tech stack. 1 year later, one company had lost 3 of its 5 key people. The other lost nobody. The difference wasn't money, wasn't equity, wasn't remote work policy. The second company had someone, one person, whose entire job was to know what was going on with those 5 people. Not an HR generalist juggling 200 employees, not an HR business partner who shows up when there's already a crisis, just a person who talked to each of them regularly, who knew their career goals, their doubts, what was happening at home. That role doesn't have an official name. I'm proposing one: human relationship manager. You might be thinking, isn't that just HR or a good manager? No, HR is overloaded. More than half of HR departments are understaffed. Their job is systems, hiring, onboarding, compliance, benefits. They don't have time to really know people. Managers have a conflict of interest. They need results now. They can't always be on the employee's side. A human relationship manager is different. Their only job, their entire job, is relationships with the people who matter most, the ones whose departure would actually hurt. Think of it like a key account manager. Companies assign dedicated people to their most important clients. Why wouldn't you do the same for your most important employees? GitHub says Copilot is generating about 40% of code at companies that use it. Claude, GPT, they're handling analytics, content, financial modeling. 60 to 70% of what companies do today can be automated, not in the future, now. So companies get smaller, much smaller, and everyone who remains becomes critical. If one person leaves a team of 100, that's annoying. If one person leaves a team of 15 where everyone is essential, that's a crisis. And retention is getting harder, not easier. PwC says 28% of workers worldwide are thinking about changing jobs in the next year. That's higher than during the Great Resignation. There's a trap I'm seeing a lot of companies fall into. The layoffs of 2023, 2024, 2025 flooded the market with candidates. Companies see hundreds of applications and think, great, no talent shortage. If someone leaves, we'll just hire someone else. This is wrong. The market has split. Yes, there are plenty of people in the general pool, but the ones who actually drive the business, there aren't more of them. Their value has gone up, precisely because everything around them is getting automated. Deckhands? Available at any port. An engineer who understands the whole system? Good luck. And according to ERE research, candidate resentment hit a record high in 2024. In tech and finance, 25% of candidates walk away from the hiring process with a bad impression. The best people are watching how companies treat others during layoffs. They remember, the research on what keeps people isn't complicated. Gallup 2024, employees who rated their company experience as exceptional were 3 times more likely to be satisfied with their job, 3.2 times more likely to feel connected to the culture. Work Institute analyzed 17,000 exit interviews. 76% of departures could have been prevented if the company had found out about the problem in time. In time, not when someone's already made up their mind, months before that. But who in your company is responsible for finding out in time? Usually nobody. HR is focused on process, managers are focused on output, and the people who matter most just fall through the cracks. A few years ago, David Young, founder of Abwai, tried to solve this with software called eva.ai. Analyze communication patterns, predict who's about to quit. They claimed 86% accuracy. By 2022, the product was gone. Even when it worked, it only solved half the problem. An algorithm can flag someone as at risk, but someone still has to go talk to them. Software gives you data, a human takes action, and people hate being monitored. Pew Research says 66% of employees feel uncomfortable with surveillance systems. 45% say they'd quit if monitoring got too invasive. You can put sensors on everything and create an atmosphere of distrust. Or you can have a person who just talks to people, learns the same things, without making everyone feel watched. What does a human relationship manager actually do? During hiring, they assess fit, not skills. Others handle that. Will this person work with the team? Can they handle the pace? Do their goals match what the company can offer? During the job, they talk to their people regularly, not performance reviews, just conversations. How are you? What's changed? What's bothering you? This catches early signals: fatigue, boredom, outside offers, way before a resignation letter shows up. In tough moments, reorgs, leadership changes, personal crises, they're the stable point. Someone on the employee's side who also understands the business. And when someone does leave, they do the exit interview, a real one. People tell the truth to people they trust. That information helps you keep the next person. Losing a key employee costs 30 to 50% of their salary just to find a replacement. 3 to 6 months of lower productivity during onboarding. Loss of knowledge, relationships, momentum. Team morale drops, projects stall. The US Department of Labor puts total replacement cost at 30 to 150% of annual salary. For senior roles, it's the higher end. 10 key people making $200,000 each. You lose two. That's somewhere between $120,000 and $600,000 in direct costs, plus everything you can't put a number on. An HRM costs one salary, maybe 150 to 200,000 a year for handling 10 to 15 people. If they prevent one departure per year, the role pays for itself. Two departures, you're making money. Candidates you reject matter too. According to ERE, candidates who get quality feedback after rejection are 50% more likely to recommend your company to others. Those you treat badly, 72% share their negative experience with friends, online, wherever. One unhappy finalist means dozens of people hearing something bad about you. In tight industries where everyone knows everyone, that's a death sentence. Some companies figured this out. They started treating rejected candidates like humans: personal feedback, real explanations, sometimes career advice, because today's rejection is tomorrow's recommendation or anti recommendation. Who can do this job? Not every HR person, not just anyone who's good with people. This is someone who listens in a way that makes people tell the truth, who sees what isn't being said, who can have hard conversations without destroying the relationship, who understands business well enough to be taken seriously, who has the patience to build trust over months, not days. There aren't many people like that, and they're going to become very valuable. If your company is automating or planning to, ask yourself one question: who is responsible for the relationships with the people who will remain? If the answer is everyone, kind of, that means no one. The captain of a modern ship knows each of their 13 engineers by name. The CEO of a company with 15 critical people needs to either know each one personally or have someone who does. I've seen what happens when companies get this right, and I've seen what happens when they don't. The difference isn't luck, it's whether someone was paying attention. I'm Mike Torchinsky. Thanks for listening. If this was useful, subscribe, share with someone who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next episode.